Hey Swifties, let's get stuck into a fantastic roll and release session. So for this session, you'll have an MV1, an MV5 and a group roller. If you don't have, say, an MV5, that's fine. You can just use your MV1. All right, so let's check in with our body because we are going to be doing our roll and release for our whole body. So just do a couple of sit to reaches, see how it's feeling, depending on what time of the day you're at. Whether it's in the morning and you're just waking up, getting home from work, and then maybe do some hip drives, step out to your hip drive, see what that's at. Do some carousels, see how you're rotating around your body. Maybe step into a skater step, just to check in and see where we're at. And we're going to come back and compare those at the end of the session. So starting off with our feet. Like I said, this is a very simple roll and release, no fuss, just getting the body nice and released through all our lovely, beautiful tools. So from here, rolling through your feet, you want to roll down through big toe, avoiding pressing directly under that big toe knuckle. So remember that bit underneath that big toe knuckle, you've got a couple of little bones. I'm going to go side to side now, and those little bones don't like to be pressed on. So I'm a little bit more into my foot. And then my pin and stick. So putting my heel down and stretching those toes over the ball, coming over to my little toe, up and down through my little toe, side to side. I'm just going to do one pass at everything. Just want to make this particular routine nice and simple, nice and easy to do. And then stretch. So I've gone up and down the little toe, side to side, and now I'm doing my pin and stick. If you feel that you want to spend more time in an area, feel free to pause this video, do a couple more passes at that particular area. Now I've got the MV1 underneath my 3 toes, but I'm underneath the pad of my foot. Up and down, side to side, heel down, and stretch that over. So if you do want to spend more time in a particular area, be my guest, pause, do a little bit more work in that area, do a couple more passes, and then start the video and keep going. So from here, rolling into the front of the heel, side to side, up and down, and do a little bit of a squish. So toes down and just squish that heel side to side. And gently take that foot off. Swapping over onto the other foot, big toe first. Roll through side to side. And then put the heel down, pin and stick. Really move through that toe, onto your little toe, up and down, side to side, heel down, pin and stick, and then onto our 3 toes through the pad of the foot. Side to side, and then up. Squeeze out that pin and stick, heel down, moving those toes in and out. Roll that through to the front of the heel, up and down, side to side. Place your toes down, pin and stick that, a little bit of a squish, and gently take that off. Nice. Let's mobilize out our feet. So just pedaling through them from here. Take them side to side and do little circles with them in both directions. A couple one way and a couple the other way. All right, let's bring this down to the ground. So taking our MV1 and popping it just on the outside of our leg from here. So I'm going to start with our lower. Now, if your 90-90 or mermaid position doesn't suit you, remember you can go down onto the ground and then just go from here. Okay, so maybe, or if lying on your hip doesn't suit you, then you can take that up and we can do it manually and come up the leg just gently up and down and side to side. Remember, you shouldn't be rolling your ball, even though we call it roll and release. What you want to do is drag the skin so you're getting that proper shear and friction, And that's what's going to start to promote the body to drawing water to areas that are really needed to hydrate and create more fluid movement in that area and make it feel nice and make it easier. It's almost like you're oiling yourself all over to get yourself flowing a bit more. All right, so up and down, side to side, move that ball up a little bit. Like I said, I've given you a few different spots. You could be lying. Also, if you like lying but your hip's sore, just grab a pillow, pop it under that hip, really support the body with what it's trying to do with our roll and release aspects. And then keep coming up. Just before we get to a little tiny knobble bone on the side of our leg. Take a swap over to the other side. Start down at the bottom. And then from here, up and down, side to side. Side to side, feel that through. We didn't do our pin and stick on the other side, but we will for this side. So just take, you can pin and stick and turn your foot up towards the roof. Feel like you need to go back and do it on the other side. Be my guest to go back and do it on the other side. And then making it all the way to the top. Up and down, side to side, pin and stick it. And then coming back. Grab your MB1. Now there's a little bone on just to the side of your leg. Just don't go 2 finger widths lower than that. Just give that little area a little bit of a release. It's a lot of lines that flow into this area, so quite often it can get quite tight and sticky. And then onto the other side as well. All right, we're going to pop our MB1 down for a minute and we're just going to give our knees a nice warm up. We're giving our knees a nice warm up every which way, give them a good rub and scrub on the top to the sides. Let's move on to the other one. And let's pop ourselves up again. So however you feel comfortable to take yourself, just watch your blood pressure, make sure you pedal out when you get to the top from here. And then from here, what we're going to do is just walk different footsteps around our mat. Really warming up that side of the leg, mobilizing through it. Any which way. Or you could do your T-steps, which step around it. Beautiful. All right, let's move up to our hips. So from here, pop your grid, grab your grid roller, and let's jump ourselves now. If you're not, if you don't want to get down on the ground for this, remember you can use your grid stick to get into this particular area. So up and down from here, side to side, and then knee down, just gently opening up through that hip flexor. And then swap on to the other side. Down, making sure this knee's out to the side, supporting ourselves through our elbows, making sure your belly button's up just a little bit. Up and down, side to side. You might turn sideways a little bit to get, so have a real feel for what needs attention in that hip. And down side to side, and then doing your pin and stick where your knee goes down, and then coming down, and we're going to go into our mobilizer. So from here, and remember you can do this standing. We're just going to do a couple on each side. And to the other side, taking that arm up, opening through that hip flexor that we've just done, and then coming into down and over onto our, just inside of our leg. So from here, up and down, side to side, pin and stick this. And then move that up to the groin. From here, and down, side to side, and pin and stick and kick that out. Swap that over to the other side from here. So just above the knee from here, that first spot. Up and down. Get out. Up and down, side to side, and then you pin and stick. Move that up into it, into the groin area a little bit more. Side to side, up and down, kick that out. And then very gently coming up from here. All right, so standing up nice, taking your feet nice and wide, and then just move into your hip drives. 1, 2, and 3. Onto the other side. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. Give that a shake out. Grab your MB1 from here. I'm going to move onto the wall. So coming into your glute, start with your lower glute. Roll that out a little bit at the lower glute, so you're sort of around your sit bones at the bottom. Move that up to the middle. What I want you to do is zigzag. So start from just to the offside of your sacral bone, and then zigzag out to your hip. And then zigzag that back down, back again. Take that MB1 a bit higher and drag. So now I'm going from my hip bone down. So I'm dragging off that hip bone down into my glutes, so down into my butt. And swap that over onto the other side. Start around your sit bones. So I'm just kind of circling around the top of the sit bones. Move that up to your mid-glute section, and I'm going to start more towards the center and zigzag out to that hip and zigzag back. That's it. And then come to the hip bone and drag downwards. So not at any point do I get into my lower back. Drag downwards. Find a couple of spots where I'm just dragging downwards from there. Beautiful. Pop your MB5 down, back down again, feet parallel, and then sit into it. 3 times on one side and 3 times on the other side. A really other nice mobilizer for this particular area is to go diamonds on the wall, toes in, and then really push away and lengthen through that area. Nice. All right, moving up. So let's take our grid roller and come onto the sides of our bodies, but we're going to be onto the side slightly towards the back. So onto the side but slightly towards back. Remember, if your grid roller is too much for this, you can get a Gurdy ball, you can take it to the wall. Just make sure you're changing it up, but still make sure you're getting that shear and friction. So we're going to be dragging that tissue. You don't want any pain. Always remember that. I'm going for grumpy discomfort, not pain. Side to side, big swishes. Nice. Take that up just a little bit further. So I'm nearly up towards my underarm from here. Up and down, side to side. And then just gently taking your arm down from here. And swap that around to the back of your body from here. I'm just going to make a little adjustment to my iPad that decided to just take a little wobble on you guys. So let's move that grid roller around to the back of the body from here. So we've done the side. Now we're going to be roughly around that your bra line, or where you would have a heart rate monitor. Support the head with it. Please be careful with this part of the back. If this doesn't feel right to you, by all means, you can get the Gurdy ball and replace it with the Gurdy ball and go something a little bit softer. So up and down, small up and down. Remember, we don't want to do crazy up and down. And then elbow towards your knee, a little turn, And a little hyperextension, but you're going to be very safe with this. And then wiggle that rib roller up to sort of mid to upper shoulder blades. So up and down. And then do that rotation. Remember, it's small. And then gently head down, nothing big. We're on the spine, so we want to be very careful. We want to be very present. We don't want to be moving too fast so we can stop if something doesn't feel right. Beautiful. All right, now bring your rib roller onto the other side from here. And then just slightly towards the back again, up and down, supporting your head, side to side, and then big swishes. And then bring your rib roller up just a little bit further, up and down, side to side. And then gently rotate through that shoulder, hand coming down to the floor. Beautiful. I'm going to finish off this back area, back and side area by coming into so I'm at the base of my skull. I'm going to start at one ear and I'm going to slowly do circles, little crisscrosses along the base of my skull. And I'm going to slowly move from one ear to the other. Beautiful. If you want to make it another pass at that, be my guest to do that. Pause the video and then go and do another line along that, because I know a lot of people like spending a lot of time around that base of the skull area. Come over onto your hands and knees from here. Let's just do some cat-cows. Focusing on wherever you want to focus, whether you want the hips, pelvis to tuck under and roll back first. You look a bit more with your head. So now we're going to take this arm. So I've got my right arm and I've taken it diagonal and I'm going to come back down to my right heel. So I'm doing that nice diagonal stretch. I'm going to mobilize. I'm going to take that up, take my left hand diagonal, take my butt towards my left heel, and then just keep swapping that over. Nice. Hands underneath your shoulders again from here. Drop your left elbow to your left knee and look up towards the ceiling. Do that twice. Now take your right elbow towards your right knee. Drop that towards the ceiling. Drop that towards the ceiling. Drop that towards your knee. Drop that towards your knee. And then come back up. Nice, beautiful. Roll yourselves over into your sitting position. Grab your NV1. Roll out through your chest area. So we're going for that deep front arm line. So where you would find your logo, maybe we should start on this side. And then rib cages 3, 4, and 5. Pinning and sticking, dragging that around, opening that up. Always nice to drag down off the collarbone. Pin and stick, turn your head. On the other side, rib cages 3, 4, and 5. Drag that around. Pin and stick. Nice. Up to the collarbone, drag that off the collarbone. Pin and stick and turn your head. Beautiful. Let's pop our NV1 down, come back up to standing, finish off our mobilizers with our back steps, open up through that beautiful chest arm line that we've just rolled. And then from here, give that a nice shake. Check in with your bodies, do your sit to reaches, see what your hip drives are like now. Beautiful. What's your carousels like? and your skater steps. Hopefully you've got a little bit more movement. Maybe it flows just that little bit better. Give it a nice shake it out. Roll through your head and neck. Roll through your spine and into your hips. Shake out one leg, shake out the other one. Give it all a big shake and roll that around to your carousels. And hopefully you have a body that is moving and flowing a lot better. Have a great rest of your day, no matter where you're at in it. Thanks, guys. Bye.